Okay, I've got my lining fabric cut. And I also did, this is the same, mine happens to be the same either way. So I did again put a T-pin to denote what I cut to match the front side. So another thing to remember when you do this, if you'll notice up there, you can see my chalk lines on my other lining piece. I went ahead and marked, I didn't cut it, and I marked it with chalk so that it can be removed if it needs to. But I did go ahead and mark this pattern again, because if this works like we want it to, well, of course, now, how brilliant would that be to have not gone ahead and had the pattern for another one, right? So, go ahead, mark you another pattern, and it doesn't have to be on any fabric. Mark it, paper bag, paper, plastic, whatever you've got that you can just have this pattern ready to go for another one. Because, our client did request 2. So, I'm going to make sure there's 2, right? Now, before we get into sewing, what I will do, well, you'll see, we'll sew our corners first, and then we will sew everything around. But the way I want to do this is let's jump over here to one of the seats. Okay, this is the back of the seat. When this lays down here, you can imagine, okay, so we've got, our corner here for it to fit on, right? And then the back, like we talked about, it just comes straight. It does not go down. It will come straight because of the back of the chair. But right here, you imagine your pet jumps up here, that can just fly right off, right? So how about we make something to keep it from flying off, right? So this piece that will come, this flap I call this, that will come here and end right here. We're going to put, right in here, we're going to put a couple of strips. If you want a tie, of course, you can make it long enough to be a tie. I'm going to put elastic on them because, again, you have a pet and little dangly bits of a tie. I feel like that's just, possibly, depending on your pet, that may be just a disaster waiting to happen. So put the elastic, and then there's nothing, no bits will be hanging down for your pet to bite at or to chew on. So right here, this part, I will leave it open so that we can put our strips in, okay? So, because we will top stitch this, so I'm just going to slide them in when I top stitch. I'm not going to sew them right now. If you want to, of course, you could jump ahead, do that step. For me right now, I'm not going to because this is our pattern. I would like to fit it before I've spent time and actually sewn in, these elastic / tie bits. I just don't want to do it right now. I want to get the majority of this done, fit it, make sure our front corners here are going to work, and then I'm going to put those in with the top stitch. But, of course, up to you, but just keep that in mind if you want to do it like I am. So, where those will be, so, these, let me zoom out a little bit here. These, I can't zoom out anymore, sorry about that. These are the front corners. So, obviously, this is the strip that's going to go down the side of the seat. So right back here, this is where I want to insert the ties. So maybe, I'll just take a T-pin, put back here. Because I do want to leave, plenty of room. And, well, I'm yammering about this. But truly, what I'm most likely going to do, we have to turn this somewhere. So let's just say we leave the whole back open, okay? Just the whole thing. I may come up, so I've got a corner established. Just a little bit. But let's just leave the whole back open. Okay, so let's keep that in mind. We'll come in. I don't want to come up further than I want to put our piece to go around the back of the chair to hold it on. So I'm going to say I'll come up probably just 1/2 inch. Just enough off of the seam to give me, so I can go ahead and trim this corner out and turn it so it'll look nice, okay? So, 1/2 inch. I hope you guys can remember that. No, I'm kidding. I'm going to go ahead and, I'm going to leave these here, though, to remind me to not keep sewing. But you see where we can see our old our original line we marked? So I'm just going to line my 1/2 inch up with it and make me a nice big chalk mark right there. Let's come down here and do the same thing. There's our little mark from before, 1/2 inch. Okay, so that's as far as I want to sew these together. All right, but first, we need to sew our corners up. So let's move to the machine. Let's do that. We're at the machine. Let's get this going. All right, corner, flip. And do you know, I came all the way over here. I did not remember to bring the clips or the T-pins. So, bear with me. We're just going to fold it and hold it. Truly, it's not that big of an area. I really don't think you need to worry about it, all right? We do want our ends here. Get those lined up just as best you can, okay? Line up down your edge. And we're so fancy here. Our piece of painter's tape is our 1/2 inch mark for our seam, okay? Yes, we should have one of the many little attachments you can get. We have the magnet. We do not like the magnet piece. It just gets in the way when you're doing curves. But right now this works for us. Do what works for you, okay? If we ever remember to get one of the attachments where you can change your seam allowance guide, we'll let you know. We'll see how it goes, okay? But for right now, bear with us. Our tape, this edge of the tape, from the needle to the edge of the tape is 1/2 inch, okay? So here we go. I'm going to lay this in. And you notice, I don't know, I'm sure if you're watching this, I'm sure you guys sew. But for me, I do not start back at the edge. I've had too many instances where it just chews the edge. I don't want to do that. So I do move mine in and start in a bit and then just back it up, okay? All right, here we go. Gently backing it up so I don't fly off anywhere. Okay. So all the way out to the edge. Back it up a little bit. Let's take it out. And, oh, good, there's my scissors. Thought I'd come over here without a scissor in the world. I had not. Okay, well, I didn't get that one snipped. Hang on, guys. Bear with me with the videoing. All right, now, same thing over here. Let's put this under. All the way back. Okay, and you know what I'm going to do? Before I sew, you know, the lining piece that I cut, before I sew it, before I sew the corners in it, let's take this and let's go see if this fits as it is, all right? Okay, so come over and you're going to pop these out. Okay, just push those top ones out. We haven't trimmed anything yet, mind you. All right, let's lay it down and see what we got. Okay. Okay. And then we'll have our 1/2 inch back here. Well, I think this is nice. And I think this is just going to work nicely for our cover. Don't you guys think so? I think that'll do very nicely. Okay, so since we think that, let's go back to the machine. Let's get the lining first thing, get the corner sewn, and then we'll sew it together. And I'm going to remember my clips this time. Okay, let's get this right sides together. And I'm going to start at these corners, okay? Because we absolutely want those to match, okay? And I am not going to open them. I'm going to turn the front corner to the back corner to the front. For me personally, I feel like it strengthens your seams. You know, if you open them up, you're kind of opening it up and leaving it, you know, sort of vulnerable to splitting, you know. So I don't do it. unless it's like, sewing welt or something together. It's just me. I don't do it, okay? So you can see I'm coming right in here, lining these seams up. Alright, and I'm hung under there, okay. So then we just go between, hopefully, always, you hope it's just gonna work out and just go right together. And lucky for us, it is. That is a good thing to remember when you're choosing a lining fabric, is try to choose something that doesn't really have any stretch to it. Okay, you'll be glad of it. Right, now I'm going to come to the back corner. Make sure that's even. Okay. Stretch it out. Look at that. Look at that. We're good here. And since we are so good, I'm not going to put as many clips through here. I just don't feel like we absolutely have to. Oop, that's a T-pin. T-pin in the clips, folks. Alrighty. And go one more up here. Sling the clip in the floor because why not? Alright, back corner on the other side. Let's check it. Yes, we're good. We just gotta shimmy it up, but we are good. And you see, I have this thing. I like all my clips to face the same way, so when I sew, it's the same. So I need to just flip that one around right there. Alright, one more clip back here. And just to hold it and keep it from slipping to the front, we're not sewing the back, but we made our marks to stop. But still, we don't want it to slip out. So just go ahead and put you a couple of clips back here, at least two, kind of on each end where we'll be sewing. I'm actually going to do one on each end and in the middle, because if you'll notice, it kind of wants to slip off. So let's just put that there just to be safe, okay? Okay, you ready to start sewing? Just going to come in here. This is where our opening will be to turn it. So I'm going to come right down here to the mark that we made to sew to. And I'm actually going to drop my needle down on that mark. Boop. And I'm just going to start sewing from there. Okay, also, I'll tell you guys this. I'm an incredibly slow sewer. So I'm going to speed this up. Just going to put it right on time lapse here in a second and speed this up for you. I'll see you guys when we're done. Now we've got it sewn up. Let's go and clip these corners where it's actually a corner. I'm going to clip them. Wait, let me get over here. There we go. I'm gonna clip them. I clip them this way, like zoop, just to get the whole corner out of there. But don't clip your stitch, okay? And yes, I would normally be using regular size scissors, but I do not have any right here with me. I forgot to grab a pair for the machine. So when you turn this, it's gonna have all this out of the way, so it's not in the way of the corner, okay? So go over here, snip this one. Okay. Now we've got that done. Let's go ahead and turn it. Hang on, let's change locations and we'll turn it, okay? Okay, now let's turn it. Turn up to these front corners. Okay, that's on the front corner. And let's check if we match. We're good there. Let's check the other one. We're off just a smidge, but I believe we will be okay. Let's go and pop our back corners out. Okay. Now, I just take a pair of scissors and gently, you don't want to come through your seam, just push it out. Doot, doot. Let's go do the other one. Scissors and push, push, push. Alright. Now, go ahead and turn this up. Just sort of, push these back in where they go. And let's just bring this over here. Check it again on the piece. Pull you guys back some. And ta-da! See that? We're at the edge. And at the back. When we sew it up, gonna be looking something like this. Okay, now we want to put our ties in. Right, see, we sewed to right here, so our ties are gonna go right here. Right, okay, hold on just a minute. Let me grab the Velcro and I'll show you how I am going to determine the size of, I'm calling them ties, but you guys know I'm using elastic, so just when I say ties, you know what I mean. All right, be right back.